Hard. Oh, hello, this is Mrs. Robertson. Today we finished doing our surface area and volume test. I saw great improvements in your effort and your scores. I'm really proud of you kids. Now we're going to get ready for our benchmark, and these are the topics that are going to be in the benchmark along with equations. This year we're going to be adding equations. So inequalities, you need to know the rules of inequalities and how to interpret graphs with inequalities. Interior angles of quadrilaterals and triangles, which is this first worksheet. Area of a triangle, a parallelogram, trapezoids and composite shapes. Surface area of rectangular prism. You have to be able to draw a net on the exam. And the volume of a rectangular prism. And as I said, the one other thing we have to add are equations. There we have. That's a lot. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests into one, or 6 tests into one here. And we're going to do a fabulous job. Some of you didn't do too good on some of the tests, but if you can do a good job on these parts, on the parts that you missed earlier in the year, but you do a good job on this upcoming test, which we're going to start it on Tuesday of next week, your grade can improve. We're going to plan, it's going to take about 2 days again for this test, and we're going to do a fabulous job on that to make sure our scores grow. Now, this worksheet is focusing on interior angles. All right, Devin, what would an interior angle be? What the terms interior angles, what does that mean to you? The measure of the angles inside the shape. Interior means inside right. And a quadrilateral, let's circle it. When you add all the angles, you get 360 degrees. How many angles are you adding in a quadrilateral to get 360? 4. That's right, you add all 4 angles. And when you add all 4, it equals 180. Now in a triangle, how many angles are in a triangle? 3. So when you add all 3 angles, you're going to get 180, right? Okay, now let's look at this one here in the box. This is a trapezoid, and a trapezoid is a quadrilateral, isn't it, kids? Yes, this is called trapezoid Z. Now, what does it mean when you have a box like that in an angle, Aiden? It's 90 degrees. So I'm going to put 90 here. There's another one that's 90. All right. So, Caden, what am I going to do to find the area of, oh, this is angle Z. What am I going to have to do to find Z? So tell me what to do. There is no multiplying. This is one of the few things we don't have to do multiplying. We add. And what am I going to add, Caden? The 90s, 90 plus 90 plus 43. That's step 1, right? So let's do that. 90 plus 90 plus 43. 9 and 9 is 18. Plus 4 is 22. Now, is Z going to be 223 degrees, Heidi? What's my second step we do here?
You're going to take 360 minus 120.
Right. You take the area of the, I'm trying to think of the words to say here, 360, because there are 360 degrees in the interior of a quadrilateral, and then we're going to subtract 223 from it, and that will give us our Z. So write this down. Borrow from the 6, it turns into a 5. 10 minus 3 is 7. 5 minus 2 is 3. So Z equals 137 degrees. All right, Caden, did you write all of this down? You can't put your head down. I'm sorry if you're tired this morning. This is important. I wrote it right here on just a moment. Okay, so any questions on how to do the quadrilaterals? Thumbs up. Carrington, you got this. Chantier, you know how to do these problems? You add and subtract. Now let's go to a triangle. Let's go to number 5. In number 5, this is a triangle. We're trying to figure out the measure of angle X. What am I going to do first? Delaney. What am I going to do first in number 5? This is number 5. It's this triangle right here.
You're going to take 90 plus 45.
Excellent. 90 plus 45 is 135. That's your step 1. Now what's my second step? Yes, Aiden.
You subtract it from 180.
There are 180 degrees in a triangle. Subtract it and you are going to get 45. X equals 45 degrees. Any questions? Some of you missed these on your last test. You get them right, I can go back in and improve your grade on the last test. These are very easy to get correct. Any questions? All right, so that's what you're going to do on this one. Let's turn the page. Find the area of composite shapes. Okay, so on this, these composite shapes, you're going to find the area of 2 shapes and then add them together. All right, so for problem number 1, I'm going to find the area of the triangle plus the area of the rectangle. Do you see that? So I usually like to do rectangles first. I don't know why. Now sometimes you subtract, but in this one I'm going to add them together. The area of the rectangle, 8 times 5.5. Always trace what you are finding the area of so you use the right numbers. 8 times 5.5 and you get an answer. Now we find the area of a triangle. Now remember, it's base times height. The area of a triangle's formula, base times height divided by 2. On the test, you will not have your formulas. You have to have these memorized, all right, kids? So I'm really going to push this. The area of a rectangle is just base times height. You got it now? So the area of the triangle is going to be 3 times, what's this distance from here to here? 5.5 and divide it by 2. With a calculator, that is not hard. All right, kids? Yeah, you need one of these? Yeah. So, on this, I take 8 times 5.5. That gives me 44. Then, on the next one, 3 times 5.5 divided by 2 equals 8.25. Now, what do I do with those two answers, Carrington? You add them together. Perfect. So when I add these together, I will get 52 and 25/100 feet what? Squared, because it's area. Any questions on how to do these problems? All right. So this one is similar to number 3, except in this one, you have to find this mystery side, right, kids? If you cut it up into pieces, you have to figure out what this side is. Whoops, let me scoot that up. You have to figure out that side, and I'm sure you can do that. Who can tell me what's this mystery side going to be? Jackson? If from here to here is 14, and from here to here is 6, what's this distance? What did you say? You can use your calculator. 14 minus 6 is not 9. You're close. Yeah, it's 8. All right, so this would be 8 centimeters. Kids, it's not drawn to scale because you're saying, Mrs. Robertson, 6 is bigger than 8. Yes, it is. This is one of those, it's an optical illusion. We're pretending we have an optical illusion here, and that really is bigger than the 6, but it's not in the picture. Okay, and kids, what's this distance here going to be? 5. Now you know what to do. You're going to take this shape plus that shape, right? And don't forget, since it's a triangle, to divide it by 2. Do you all know that? Good. Let's do one of the L shapes. And let's go up here to this one. There are lots of ways to do this one. I'm going to cut it right here. See where I cut it? So now I'm going to find the area of this rectangle. So, and this rectangle. And I'm going to put them together. So this is another one I'm going to add. So I have a rectangle plus another rectangle. All right, see how I draw the pictures? It just makes sure that I'm doing it correct. All right, so this rectangle is 2.1 times 4.8. Someone asked, Mrs. Robertson, why don't you use a dot for multiplying? Because sometimes they look like decimal points and kids get confused. So I use the parenthesis, okay? Now let's multiply this. 2 and 1/10 times 4 and 8/10. What did you kids get? Excellent. 10 and 8/100. Okay. Now I have to find the area of this box. 3 and 2/10 times 6 and 4/10. 3 and 2/10, 6 and 4/10. Well, when we multiply that, 20 and 48/100. Now what do I do with these answers? I'm going to add them together and we get 30 and what? 56/100? 30 and 56/100 yards squared. Any questions on that? So you could do this problem, right? That's not going to be hard for you. Good. Now let's go down and look at this one here. This is one where we have a big triangle and they cut out this rectangle, correct? So we find the area of the big triangle minus the area of the rectangle. Any questions on that? So let's do this. The formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. The rectangle is base times height. All right, so here we go. The area of the triangle is 8 times 10 divided by 2. 8 times 10 divided by 2. Do you have that? What is 80 divided by 2? 40. We're all good with that. Now we find the area of the rectangle. Here we have 4 times 2. What's 4 times 2? Now what do I do with these answers since it's a cutout, Devin? Subtract. And we will have 32 meters squared. Any questions on doing cutouts? All right. We'll practice on that again later in the week. So let's turn the page. You should. This one's not that hard. Try to do this one without my help after a while. Now on the next page, I want to make sure you know which sign to use on these words, okay? At least. If this, let's just say, at least. I'm trying to think of the best way. Let's just use the words 6 blank X, all right? So, at least 6 at least X. That doesn't go in. Let's do this side. 6 is greater than X. So how would I write that? Greater than goes like that. 6 is more than X. It would look like that, correct? More than, 6 is going to be bigger than the x. If it's greater than x, it's bigger. More than, bigger. No less than. Here I'm using the words. 6 is no less than x. Now I always find those confusing. 6 is no less than 8. Is 6, can it be equal to x? So it can be equal to it, you put that. Can it be bigger than x? No less than means it's bigger than, right? So yeah. So no less than means 6 is bigger or equal to x. It just can't be smaller than x. Those are tricky. That no less than is tricky. We'll practice saying that a lot, okay? 6 is no less than x. That means it's bigger or equal to. 6 exceeds x. If it exceeds x, is it smaller or bigger? It's bigger. If it exceeds, it's bigger. Less than or equal to. That one's pretty easy. It gets the little point. 6 is less than or equal to. Does everyone have the correct answers for these? Okay, now let's go to this side. And we're going to use the same terms again of 6 is what to x? 6 is at least x. Can it be x? Yes. Is it bigger or smaller than x? 6 is at least x. It's bigger, yeah. 6 is at most x. Can it be x? Can it be bigger than x? No, x is the biggest it can be. Now, I'll tell you kids, if your brains are not turned on right now, you're not going to learn this, and there are a lot of questions on this in the test. Turn your brains on now so you can help to remember this. We'll go over these every day before the test. 6 is less than x. That's easy, right? It goes like this. No more than x. 6 is no more than x. Can it be x? Yes. So you put that no more than. So that means if it's no more than, it is less than. No more means less than. Just like no less means more. You see how the word no turns it into its opposite? We'll talk more about that. 6 is under x. So is that equal to x? No, it's only less than x. That sort of is a weird term. I don't think you'll see that one on your test. 6 is greater than or equal to x. So it's greater than and equal to. So do you all have the right signs for these words?
Yeah.
Now that you know the right signs, I want you to go through and do these problems without my help. So this is part of your assignment that I want you to do today, okay? So do all of these. Any questions? Do all 1 to 10. All right. Then, is there one more page? Let's look at this page. We have, I think that'll be enough. We'll just do that's 3 pages. So what do I want you to have done by tomorrow? Finish this page. All right. On this page, you have to do 3 and 4. If you want to try to do 5, you can try to do 5, all right? 5 is optional. On this page, do 1 to 10. And that's what I expect for you to do for tomorrow. If you get finished, you can go ahead and do the other parts of the packet. You may work in groups, but you must work. Any questions?
No.
Have a good day.